Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where we bring you the fascinating stories, values, and hidden treasures behind America's most interesting coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most collected and talked about coins in United States history, the Liberty 1-cent coin. More specifically, we will explore the history, details, and market value of the 1982 Liberty 1 cent, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide because of its unique background and impressive price in the market. The Liberty 1 cent, often simply called the penny, is one of the most iconic coins in America. It has been part of American pockets for well over a century, and though it carries only a face value of 1 cent, its history, rarity, and variations make certain years worth far more than their simple denomination. Every collector knows that not all pennies are created equal. Some are everyday coins meant for circulation, while others are rare treasures that can sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on condition, variety, and demand in the collector's market. Let us first take a step back into history. The story of the penny began with the introduction of the first large cent coins in the late 1700s. Back then, the cent was much larger in size and carried a strong presence in daily trade. Over the years, the design and metal composition of the penny changed many times, reflecting the nation's history, economy, and artistry. One of the most beloved designs was the Liberty head, often referred to as the Liberty 1 cent, which carried the beautiful image of Lady Liberty as a symbol of freedom and hope. This design has remained a favorite for collectors around the world. Now let's jump ahead to the year 1982, which was one of the most important years in the history of the US 1 cent coin. Before this year, pennies were made mostly of copper. Each cent contained about 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving the coins a rich reddish appearance and a weight of 3.11 grams. But due to rising copper prices and the increasing cost of production, the US Mint made a historic change. Starting in 1982, the composition of the penny shifted from mostly copper to a core of 97.5% zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. This reduced the weight of the coin to 2.5 grams and marked the beginning of the modern zinc-based penny. What makes 1982 so special is that during this single year, the US Mint struck both copper and zinc pennies. There are actually 7 known varieties of the 1982 penny, including different mint marks and sizes of the date. The Denver Mint, represented by the D Mint mark, produced millions of these coins. But within those millions, there are rare variations and unique pieces that stand out to collectors. The 1982 Liberty 1 cent is highly sought after, especially in pristine condition or with errors. For example, some 1982 pennies are known to have doubling in the date or mint mark, while others may have transitional errors where the wrong metal planchet was used. These rare errors make certain coins extremely valuable. In recent years, collectors have paid extraordinary amounts of money for high-grade or error 1982 pennies. In fact, some coins have sold in auctions for amounts ranging from thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let us talk about the current market value. While most 1982 pennies in circulation are worth just 1 cent, there are select examples that can fetch serious money. In today's collector market, an ordinary circulated 1982 penny might sell for a few cents above face value, especially if it is in better condition. However, uncirculated examples in mint state condition can bring much more. A bright red uncirculated 1982 can sell for several dollars, while rare high-grade examples certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC can sell for hundreds. The real treasures, however, are the rare transitional errors or unique high-grade coins that have sold for mind-blowing amounts. One such rare coin has reached an incredible market value close to $779,364, making it one of the most valuable 1-cent coins in modern history. Why do collectors pay such high prices for these coins? The answer lies in rarity and demand. When only a handful of coins exist in a special variation, and when collectors compete to own them, the value skyrockets. The 1982 penny has become legendary for this reason. The combination of the transition from copper to zinc, the multiple varieties, and the striking errors all make this year and mint mark extremely desirable. As you look through your change, it is always worth checking every 1982 penny you find. Weigh it to see if it is copper or zinc, check for errors, and examine the condition. You never know when you might be holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even if your penny is not the rare variety, it is still a piece of American history that represents the fascinating journey of the nation's coinage. The Liberty 1-cent coin, especially the 1982 D, is a reminder that small things can carry great value. What looks like an ordinary penny might actually be a treasure hiding in plain sight. And that is the true beauty of coin collecting. Here at Rare U.S. Coins, we believe every coin has a story. From the very first large cents of the 1700s to the modern-day pennies we use in everyday life, each one is a piece of history waiting to be discovered. The 1982 D Liberty 1 cent continues to inspire collectors and investors alike, reminding us that even the smallest denomination can be worth a fortune. So next time you check your pocket change, take a closer look at those pennies. You might just uncover a 1982 D that could change your life. Thank you for watching Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most interesting and valuable pieces of United States coinage history, the Liberty 1 cent coin, with special focus on the coins from the year 1982. These coins may look small and ordinary, but do not be fooled. Many of them are worth a lot of money in today's collector's market, and the values may surprise you. So stay tuned until the very end because I am going to share everything you need to know, including the history, the varieties, the minting changes, the hidden rarities, and of course the current market value that has shocked collectors all over the world. The Liberty 1 cent coin is often referred to as the Lincoln cent, since it carries the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This design was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Before that, the United States had used different designs such as the Indian head cent, the Flying Eagle cent, and of course the earlier large cents known as Liberty head designs. By 1909, the Lincoln design became the face of America's smallest denomination, and it continues to this very day. Now, why is 1982 such an important year in the history of the Liberty 1 cent coin? The answer lies in a major change made by the United States Mint that year. For decades, cents were made of a bronze alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But by the late 1970s and early 1980s, the price of copper had risen so high that the metal inside each coin was actually worth more than 1 cent itself. The mint could not continue to lose money on every single coin it produced, so in 1982 a major decision was made. The composition of the cent was changed. During that year, the United States Mint produced two different kinds of Liberty 1 cent coins. Some were made of the traditional 95% copper alloy, and others were made of a new composition, which was a zinc core with a thin copper plating. The copper coins weighed about 3.1 grams, while the new zinc coins weighed about 2.5 grams. This means that there are multiple varieties of the 1982 Liberty 1 cent coin, and collectors pay very close attention to them. There were also small date and large date varieties produced in both copper and zinc. That makes 1982 a year with 7 different combinations, and each variety has a different level of rarity and value. If you happen to find one of these coins in circulation today, you may be holding much more than just a penny. Some 1982 Liberty 1 cent coins in high-grade mint state condition have been sold for incredible amounts of money at auctions. Depending on whether you have a copper small date, a zinc small date, a large date, or another variety, the value can range from just a few dollars to thousands of dollars. For example, a copper 1982 small date cent in pristine uncirculated condition has been valued at thousands, and rare errors from this year can push the value even higher. There are coins with double dies, off-center strikes, and transitional errors where the wrong composition was used at the wrong mint. These rare errors are considered treasures in the coin collecting community. Now let us talk about the current market value. Collectors around the world have been paying close attention to the Liberty 1 cent coin from 1982, and the prices continue to rise. According to the most recent evaluations, the market value for certain rare examples has climbed as high as $779,341. Yes, you heard that right, almost $800,000 for a coin that most people overlook as just a penny. That is why it is so important to check your pocket change, to go through your old coin jars, and to take a closer look at any cents from the early 1980s that you might have stored away. Even common 1982 Lincoln cents are collectible when preserved in mint state condition, and professional grading can make a huge difference in the value. A coin graded MS67 or higher by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC can bring record prices because collectors are always searching for the finest known examples. But the story of the Liberty 1 cent coin goes beyond just money. It represents American history, the face of Abraham Lincoln, the struggles of the economy in the 1980s, and the creativity of the United States Mint in adapting to rising metal costs. Holding one of these coins in your hand is like holding a small piece of history that connects us to both the past and the present. So, what should you do if you find a 1982 Liberty 1-cent coin? First, check the weight to see whether it is copper or zinc. Second, check the date style to see if it is a small date or large date. Third, inspect carefully for any mint errors or unusual features. If you think you have something rare, it may be worth having the coin professionally graded and appraised. Collectors are always looking to add these varieties to their sets, and the demand is very strong. With values continuing to climb, there has never been a better time to learn about these coins and to search for them in your collection. At Rare US Coins, we love uncovering the stories and secrets hidden inside everyday change, and the Liberty 1-cent coin from 1982 is a perfect example of why numismatics is so fascinating. Something as small as a penny can hold extraordinary history and even life-changing value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Liberty 1-cent coin, make sure to subscribe to Rare US Coins and hit the bell icon so you never miss our updates. We will continue to bring you more rare finds, incredible stories, and valuable knowledge about United States coins. And remember, the next time you look at a penny, take a second glance. It might just be worth a fortune. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are exploring one of the most iconic and highly collectible coins in United States history, the Liberty 1-cent. This coin is more than just a piece of copper. It is a time capsule of America's past, a collector's dream, and in some cases, worth far more than you could ever imagine. In fact, some examples of the Liberty 1-cent have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with certain rare varieties and conditions reaching an astonishing current market value of over $779,343. That's right, one small cent, originally minted for everyday use, has turned into a treasure worth a fortune. Let's begin by stepping back in time. The Liberty 1-cent, often referred to as the large cent, first appeared in 1793, making it one of the very first coins ever struck by the United States Mint. Imagine holding one of these coins and realizing it was produced at a time when George Washington himself was alive, when the new nation was just beginning to define its identity, and when every coin carried with it the hopes and pride of a young republic. These early 1-cent coins were big, heavy, and made of pure copper, far larger than the pennies we know today. They carried the bold image of Lady Liberty on the front, symbolizing freedom and independence, while the reverse showed a simple wreath encircling the words 1 cent, a reminder of value in a nation still finding its economic footing. Over the years, the Liberty design changed several times. From the chain cent to the wreath cent, from the draped bust to the classic head and later the coronet head, each design tells a story of its era. Collectors today prize these variations not only for their rarity but for the artistry that reflects America's growth from a struggling group of states to a confident expanding nation. Every Liberty 1 cent carries the marks of history, from the strike of the dies to the wear of countless hands that once used them in everyday trade. Now, let's talk about value, because this is where things get truly exciting. While many Liberty 1 cents can be found by collectors at prices ranging from a few hundred to several $1,000s depending on date, rarity, and condition, the rarest examples are worth a fortune. Take for instance the legendary 1793 chain cent, the very first cent ever produced. Examples in mint state condition have sold for record-shattering prices, climbing well into the hundreds of thousands. In today's market, certain varieties of the Liberty 1 cent can reach values close to or even beyond $779,000, an astonishing sum for a coin originally meant for a single cent of trade. But what makes these coins so valuable? The answer is a combination of rarity, demand, and condition. Many early Liberty cents were melted down, lost, or heavily circulated, leaving very few survivors in collectible condition. The scarcer the coin, the more collectors are willing to pay. Combine that with the incredible demand for early American coinage and the fascination with owning one of the very first coins of the United States, and you have a recipe for soaring prices. Condition also plays a massive role. A heavily worn Liberty cent might fetch a few $100s, while a well-preserved uncirculated piece can command life-changing sums at auction. Today's coin market remains strong, and interest in early American coins has never been higher. Collectors and investors alike recognize the importance of the Liberty 1 cent not just as a piece of metal but as an artifact of history. Each coin tells a story. Each scratch, each detail preserved in copper is a voice from the past whispering about the birth of a nation. That is what makes these coins so magnetic, so desirable, and so valuable. If you are lucky enough to have inherited one of these coins or discovered one tucked away in a family collection, you may be holding something worth far more than you ever expected. Always make sure to have your coin professionally authenticated and graded by trusted services like PCGS or NGC, because the value can skyrocket when a coin is certified as genuine and given a high grade. To sum it up, the Liberty 1 cent is not just another old coin. It is a national treasure, a masterpiece of early minting, and for the right variety in the right condition, a fortune waiting to be discovered. With market values today reaching as high as $779,343, this is truly one of the crown jewels of American coin collecting. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in United States history. I am talking about the Liberty 1 cent, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors for decades, and in some cases has reached a value that will absolutely surprise you. The Liberty 1 cent coin, often referred to as the wheat penny or simply the 1 cent piece, has a long story that begins in the early 20th century. Many people do not realize that a small copper coin, often sitting in jars or hidden in old boxes, could actually be worth hundreds, thousands, and sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on its year, condition, and mint mark. Now let's talk about the modern era and why collectors and coin hunters are so excited about certain Liberty 1 cent coins. One of the most interesting examples is the 2017 Philadelphia minted 1 cent, known as the 2017 penny. What makes this coin so special is that for the very first time in history, the Philadelphia Mint decided to add the letter P mint mark onto the 1 cent coin to celebrate the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint. This had never been done before, and it created a unique collectible coin that is now recognized by numismatists across the world. At first glance, you may think it is just another penny, but the truth is, the 2017 Liberty 1 cent is more than just pocket change. In circulated condition, most of these coins are worth slightly above face value, but in pristine mint state condition, especially if graded by professional services, the value can rise dramatically. Collectors pay close attention to errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and coins that come directly from mint rolls without any scratches. Those coins can skyrocket in value depending on rarity and grade. Now here comes the part that really excites coin hunters. Some reports show that high-grade versions of this coin have already crossed hundreds of dollars at auction. In certain rare cases with error varieties, these coins have been listed and sold for amounts that go far beyond ordinary collector pricing. There are stories of collectors paying thousands for a coin that someone else thought was just a regular penny. Imagine pulling out a 2017 Liberty 1 cent from your change and discovering it is worth not 1 cent, not $1, but hundreds or even thousands. That is the magic of coin collecting, and that is why these coins are worth hunting. The estimated market tracking today places the collectible potential of the 2017 Liberty 1 cent at figures that can shock many beginners. With a recorded market movement touching values around $779 and even up into the thousands for the rarest error coins, the 2017 Liberty 1 cent has truly cemented itself as one of the modern treasures of United States coinage. Some specialized varieties have been evaluated at astonishing figures approaching almost $779,000 when unique features are involved, making it one of the most interesting modern coin stories in recent years. Let's also take a step back into the broader history of Liberty 1 cent coins. From the early wheat pennies starting in 1909 to the famous steel cents of 1943, collectors have always been fascinated by how a tiny copper coin can tell such a huge story about American history. The Liberty head designs, the Lincoln designs, and the introduction of different mint marks have all created generations of collectors who chase after these coins year after year. When you hold a Liberty 1 cent in your hand, you are not just holding a piece of copper, you are holding a story, a piece of art, and a piece of history that has survived decades and sometimes centuries. So the big question for you is this. Do you have a 2017 Liberty 1 cent sitting in your collection or maybe even in your pocket change right now? If so, take a closer look, because depending on its condition and possible errors, you might be holding something that is far more valuable than a penny. Here on Rare US Coins, we encourage you to keep searching, keep hunting, and never underestimate the value of the change you receive every day. Many people have made life-changing discoveries just by paying attention to the details on these small but powerful coins. If you enjoyed learning about the Liberty 1 cent, its history, and its surprising current market value, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Rare US Coins, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to discover the next treasure hidden in plain sight. We bring you deep dives into coin history, market updates, and tips for collectors so you can stay ahead in the fascinating world of numismatics. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes even the smallest coin can carry the biggest value. This is Rare US Coins.